You know, it's interesting. When I have individuals and groups come through my office telling me that they'd like me to support this bill, I ask them, of course, why. Inevitably, they'll point to, usually just one or two of the countless provisions in this 1,000-page bill. It's almost always because of one very discrete component within the bill that they like. Perhaps they like the high-skilled visa reform. Perhaps they like the low-skilled visa reform. Perhaps they like some piece here or there, but it's always one or two very discrete provisions. That's what causes them to say, I want you to vote for this 1,000-page bill. Inevitably, I will ask them, have you read the whole bill? If you haven't read the whole bill, have you at least studied the whole bill? Have you studied each of the constituent parts? Have you studied the implications of all the other provisions that you'd be asking me to vote for? Inevitably, the answer is no. It's an unqualified, unapologetic no. And in many cases, it's a no that is uttered in a way that makes me realize they haven't really even considered the question. I don't fault them for that. Their job is not to legislate. Their job usually is to advocate. In many instances, these are lobbyists. In other instances, they're citizen groups who are just expressing their opinion, and they've got every right to do so. But my job is to legislate. And before I'm asked to vote for a bill, before I'm going to vote yes on something to make it law, I've got to read it. I've got to understand it. And I've got to like not just one or two provisions. I've got to be convinced that on balance, this bill makes sense for the American people and that it will do considerably more good than harm, that it at a minimum won't do more harm than good. And I can't answer that question that way with this bill. I just can't get there. And so I invite all of the American people, anyone who might be hearing my voice, to join me in this dialogue, to join in this discussion. If you want to be part of the immigration solution, read the bill. If you don't want to read the whole bill, just study the whole bill. At least, read a robust summary, not the cheerleading talking points put out by the bill's principal advocates, but read a really robust synopsis that tells you how all the pieces connect together. And then tell me whether you think I should vote for it. Most of the time, if people do it that way, they're going to come at this with a very different conclusion.